Hi, Rob here. Welcome to the IELTS writing course. This is just an introduction to lexical resource. Lexis means vocabulary. So lexical is the adjective of lexis. So vocabulary resource. Your resource means the vocabulary, all the vocabulary that you can use. Okay. So the main idea is how appropriate is it? So is it the right word for that situation? And also how precise is it? Is it exactly the right word? Is it a pencil or is it a mechanical pencil? A mechanical pencil is more accurate, for example, if it is a mechanical pencil, that is. So let's have a look. At an 8, you see, it talks about a wide range of vocabulary. So not just saying the same word all the time, especially if it's from the question. But there is a warning here. A lot of people try really hard not to use the words in the question, but they then choose another word that doesn't have the same meaning. It's not precise. So there's a balance. My advice is this. If you don't want to use the word in the question, let's say the word is health. You don't want an essay full of health. If you don't want to use that word, try and use another. For example, well-being. You could use well-being instead of health, and that would be fine. So that's fine. But if you don't know well-being, or if you don't know a word that means the same, don't do it. Don't take the risk. You can't take risks, certainly at a 7 and 8. You can take some more risk at a 6 and below, but you've got to be really careful here. And a lot of people have been taught, you need to try to use amazing vocabulary. Kind of true. Doesn't say amazing in here, but what they mean is use a wide range. But if that means that you make mistakes, don't do it. Don't take big risks. It doesn't work. So a lot of people will have this fantastic vocabulary, but it's not precise. So it's a mistake. It's poor word choice, which we will talk about here. So that's the number one thing. Don't take big risks. Not if you need a high score. And the thinking is often, I'll use these amazing words and maybe they'll be like a 9, but there'll be a couple of mistakes, so I'll be an 8 or a 7 or something like that. That's not what happens. You use these great words, but the examiner has difficulty with them, and you're a 5, as I'll show you. So don't do it. So wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexibly to convey precise meanings. Look at the next one. Skillfully uses uncommon lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies in word choice and collocation. So there's the use of uncommon words with inaccuracies. Word choice, so choosing the right word, and collocation. Collocation is a massive thing. If you're a non-native speaker, I'm assuming you are, then there's 2 differences between you and me in the end. When your language becomes really, really good, when your English is excellent, there will be 2 differences between you and me. Number 1, pronunciation. You will always have your accent, and that's fine. It's good. Not a problem. Number 2, collocation. Collocation means when 2 words go together. Together, location, words in the same place. For example, we go shopping. We have a barbecue. We make suggestions. You see what I mean? So these relationships between the words are very important. So you need to have collocation, a wide range, good precision. Look, last point, produces rare errors in spelling and word formation. So spelling is important. You can only have rare mistakes for an 8. Word formation means are you using the right form of the word? If you need the noun, do you use the noun or do you get it wrong? People often confuse the adjective and the adverb. Sometimes the noun and the adjective. Well, you have to get that right. So you need to understand what is a noun, what is a verb, what is an adjective, an adverb, and the different types of those, which we have talked about throughout this course. So let's look at a 7. A sufficient range of vocabulary to allow some flexibility and precision. Uses less common lexical items, words, with some awareness of style and collocation. So a band 7 is the first time we mention collocation. But certainly bad collocation is a mistake. So it's implied throughout, really. Look, 7 may produce occasional errors in word choice, spelling, and or word formation. So we've got rare mistakes at an 8, occasional at a 7. And what do these words mean? Well, if your essay is 250 words, what's rare? 4 or 5? 2 or 3? Let's say 4 or 5 is rare. Occasional is a few more than that. Now, a 6 uses an adequate range. So adequate means enough. So you use enough vocabulary, enough range to answer the question. So for each topic, there are 20 basic topics in IELTS. So, health, childhood, education, family, etc. You're going to need a few, which means, let's say, 4, 5, 6 keywords for each one. So you don't need a massive range of vocabulary to answer these questions, but you need some keywords, which we will give you in this course. Attempts to use less common vocabulary, but with some inaccuracy. So you're trying to use some vocabulary, you're taking more risk, but you're making mistakes. That's okay. Now here's the big thing. Look, makes some errors in spelling and word formation, but here's the thing. They do not impede communication. It means they don't stop the communication. It means the reader can read it and say, okay, that's a mistake, but I understand it. So that's okay. Now, a 5 is a bit different. 5, limited range of vocabulary, but this is minimally adequate. So it's okay for the question. May make noticeable errors in spelling and word formation that may cause some difficulty for the reader. So the reader's reading and it's like, what's that? Okay, I think I know what you mean. So there's some difficulty. What's that? Okay. Just a little bit of pause. So you see how you've stopped the communication because I had to stop and read that word or those few words of the phrase more carefully. Let's look at a 4. Uses only basic vocabulary, which may be used repetitively or which may be inappropriate for the task. So wrong sort of words for the question. 4, limited control of word formation, so lots of mistakes and spelling. Errors may cause strain for the reader. Strain is like, what is that? So I often say a 4 is like, what is that? Okay, I think I kind of know. 5, okay, what's that? Okay, difficulty. 6, it's a mistake, but I think I know what you mean. 7, okay. 8, great. 9, ooh. So this is the level of difficulty for the reader. And it depends on how you've learned vocabulary. We will talk more about this, but you need to learn it in the right way, and lots of people don't. Here's some tips. Synonyms. Wow. This is such an important idea. So if you studied by translating the word from your language into English and vice versa, then that's okay. in the beginning. But when you need to get like a band 6 or more, certainly 7 and absolutely 8, you can't be translating. It doesn't work because it depends on your first language. If you speak French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, many of the words look similar and many of them are. So that's good. But some of the words are false friends. So they are the same word, but they have a different meaning in English. So then that causes you problems. If your language is completely different, so an East Asian language like Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, something like that, you have more basic issues in learning vocabulary. But if you keep translating, you'll be too slow and in your speaking and writing, and you'll make too many mistakes. So the way to learn language is in your brain. If you have a word and you have another word and it's connected, so in other words, you learn by synonyms, then you will learn much more quickly. What does transformation mean? Oh, check my dictionary. Oh, that's what it means in my language. Okay. But that's not helpful. Transformation means change. Oh, change, transformation, synonym. So how you learn the language is very important. And you should be thinking about synonyms all the time, both for your speaking and writing and your listening and reading. Don't forget, in the listening and reading tests, question and the text or the answer, they're not going to use the same word, rarely. They're going to use synonyms. So synonyms are essential. Don't use the words in the question. I've talked about this. Try to rewrite it. In fact, if you watch the Task 2 videos about coherence and how to write the introduction, I'm showing you not to rewrite the question. If you want to do that, you're unlikely to get much more than a 6 because it's not very high level at all. Don't use flowery language. So people from the subcontinent of India, their culture is to use lots of flowery language and generalizations. Flowery means pretty, trying to make it pretty. Don't do that. You need to be precise, direct, straightforward, concise. Okay? And you don't have many words. In the writing, you've got 250 words. It's not much. So don't try. I'm almost saying don't try too hard. Collocation. I've mentioned this. Co, together, location. I've mentioned it in the verb lesson. When we learn a word, don't just learn one word. Learn the other words that go with it. So if you're learning the word idea, to generate ideas, create ideas, okay. Oh, bright idea. To bounce around ideas, which learn words in chunks. Chunks means not just one, but 2 or 3 pieces. A chunk is a piece. And this is modern teaching and learning theory. It's called the lexical approach. And it says, look at the language through vocabulary, not just through grammar. And learn in chunks, okay? In the verb lesson, we talked about arrive. She arrived at. So when you learn arrive at. They go together. Okay. When you learn idea, learn good idea, great idea, generate ideas. Sorry, in collocation also can be adjective noun, verb noun, noun, verb preposition, adverb adjective, adverb adverb. Lots of different types. We will talk much more about this, don't worry. Spell correctly. Spelling can be a challenge, and spelling in English is not always logical. So we have a handout. The handout is the top 3,000 words in English. So if you want to improve your spelling, start with word number 1. What's the most common word? So it's easy, the. How do I spell the? T-A-G, good. Next, all the way down. Make sure you can spell the common words first. And all of our vocabulary lessons here will help you to do that, okay? Be concise and precise. Concise means not using too many words. A lot of people try and write too much and they get lost and they become unprecise, so don't do that. Precise, use exactly the right word if you can. Kiss. Keep it simple and straightforward. Don't try too hard. This is when you make mistakes. So keep it. This is your amount of vocabulary. This is your resource. Keep it in here. But having said that, you also need to learn how to transform words, which I'm going to show you in this course. You must learn, if you learn the word health, also learn the adjective healthy, the verb heal, the adverb healthily, because you've already learnt the one word, so it's easy to learn the other forms. And then when you do that, okay, maybe you don't want to use health, but you could use the adverb. People should eat healthily. People should eat healthy food. So you get a higher score without needing much more vocabulary. So transform the words. We like that word, transform. Transform the words that you do know first. Okie doke. And this is what we'll be doing in this course. It's the quickest way to learn vocabulary. And it's the best way for your brain. Your brain likes it. So do that. Okay, thank you for your time. Have a great day and enjoy this vocabulary course and keep practicing the word transformations. Have a great day. Thank you.